first and second with nobody out, and here's Davison. She lays down a bunt, and dead ball is being called here by the home plate umpire, and the out being called by our plate umpire, Tom Meyer. So this is going to be a return trip to Birmingham here.
Out is being challenged by Arkansas and will be reviewed.
All right, the question would be, did she make contact after the bunt? Did the ball make contact with her when she was outside of the box?
See, bunt laid down here, takes off running. Not even close to touching the ball. Not even
that has to be what they're looking at, right?
It has to be. That's the only thing that I can think of on that play, but didn't look like either foot was even close to the softball.
Yeah, from that first angle, this looks to be a call that will be changed here. It obviously, as you heard, challenged quickly by Arkansas Courtney Deifel and her trusty assistant, Matt Michael. All right, now from the overhead. It didn't hit the bat.
Did not hit the bat a second time.
Didn't hit her. Fair ball. This should be changed.
Yeah, not even close.
Unless there's an angle that Birmingham is looking at that we have not seen yet. From what we've seen so far, it has to be a change.
It's taking longer than I would have thought it would go into video review.
I don't want to be the one to try to read Courtney Deifel's facial expressions, but the first thing that would come to mind for me is like, that wasn't close, is what she said. You know, why are we at a point where it was an out call on the field that it's up for debate with replay? But
and they're still going over it as well.
I've got my handy-dandy rule sheet here just to make sure.
Yeah, the batter out of the box when a batted ball touches them is reviewable.
Here's the call.
After reviewing Birmingham, the call has changed. The ball did not hit the runner. The runner will be placed at first base.
Well, Tim Walton's going to come out. The call we saw was from the plate umpire. I see Walton gesturing down towards first.
Well, he's not happy because the runner now is being placed over at first base.
Good point, Madison.
Good point. I guarantee that's what he's upset about.
Yeah,
Let's take another look at the full play here.
Madison, great point, because...
But I think it's the umpire calls the play dead there, so I'm wondering if that's why they're placing her over at first base, even though she was clearly out on that throw.
And again, that's why you mentioned the longer review, and now the field umpires are together, the three-man crew, to discuss. It feels like, well, hang on, let's get the call.
Florida is protesting the ruling on the field. We will check with Birmingham and in Louisville to see what the ruling should be.
All right, I want just to let everybody know, get comfortable, because this could take a little while.
I really do think it's because the umpire called the play dead on the field that we're even having this discussion. Had the play played out as normal, then I don't think we'd be having all of this review.
Right.
But because the play was dead,
And again,
called dead on the
you're
field.
encouraged. I mean, obviously things happen so fast, but you're encouraged. Let the play out, and then if they need to challenge, well, it hit the batter leaving the box, but that wasn't the call here. So we just work with the facts that we have in front of us, and it was called in real time that it hit the runner, and the runner was called out. So you can see why Florida is protesting. You don't hear that word too much, protesting, but Tim Walton has a point here because you're just going to place the runner? They had a chance. We saw in that overhead replay, Erickson was on it. They had a chance to get the runner out at first. So it feels like, is it in the rule book, Madison, to say we are just going to reset, go back to where the count was?
Even though she's thrown out by a mile.
Yeah, and just to say, use the old phrase, out. I mean, it's not even close, but the word we used to use back in the day was do-over. And are we going to have a do-over? Is that? And the umpires have the rule book out right now. They are huddled around the rule book and checking to see what happens here. Madison Shipman has the very same rule book out in front of her.
I carry it with me at all times.
I can make it a triple play and pull my rule book out as well. I just have my little sheet, but this is not on the little cheat sheet for what's reviewable. Yeah, Madison's got.
I got it.
I've got the little 2-page that Madison's got out the, Madison's got Roman numeral, letter, subhead. She's got that rule book.
This is exactly why I travel with it. I'm not sure if I'm hearing it right, but do the fans?
The chant is out at first.
Do they have an opinion on the play?
I don't know if I've ever heard the chant out at first, but. And Arkansas, although they're fewer numbers, they're trying to counter with the safe at first chant.
But I see the Florida fans' point, though, because she was thrown out
100%.
by at least a couple of steps over at first base. No question that she was going to be out over at first, but it's because the call was ruled dead on the field by the home plate umpire.
Here's what I feel like I need to do right now as a good teammate. I need you to get deep into this rule book like those umpires are right now, and I'll just handle things right now, okay? I'm going to give you a little game recap while Madison reads. What page are you on right now in the rule book? 104. Perfect. We're deep into that rule book. Florida got things going in the first 3-run first inning. The big shot, Reagan Walsh, with a 2-run home run. And the Gators, after losing game 1 on Friday night, had a 3-0 lead, but then Arkansas countered with a 4-run third inning. 3-run home run by Ella McDowell put the Hogs on top by 1, and then they added 2 more in the 4th. Florida countered with 3 in the 4th. Big part of this game has been runners left on base by Arkansas. They've left the bases loaded 3 times. They've had plenty of opportunities to extend the lead, go back in front against Tim Walton's team. But the Gators, even though they've issued 7 walks, a couple of hit batters, 2 errors, they have hung in there. They have their 3rd pitcher of the game in the circle. And right now, for the moment, there are 3 Razorbacks standing on the bases, but in question is what the status is of the runner at first, and that is Carly Davison, who for the moment has been given first base after a video review by the umpires. Courtney Deifel is stepping out to maybe offer a little help here for the umpires. Because we have a very talented multitasking crew. I've been told we are 9 minutes into this delay right now. I've got another question for you because you've seen a lot more softball than me. And I'm not asking you the question yet. Keep reading, Madison. But can Birmingham give guidance on a play on the field that's – I know they went to replay and they said runner safe at first, but because they were involved, it feels like our 3 umpires on the field and whoever is back in Birmingham watching, they can all weigh in on this and all jump into the rule book. We're flipping around looking for pages. Have you settled on a page yet, Maddie?
I found the page where it's hitting the ball a second time, like if the runner were to hit the ball a second time after they exit the batter's box. The question here is whether or not they're going to decide to, one, rule in favor of the play was dead, so just awarding the batter the base, or do you go with the play that was played out on the field, which is the out over at first base? That's what you're going back and forth between.
But in my opinion, that would be the last thing you can do. That say, even though we saw in the replay she was out at first, but once it's called dead, you have to assume, all right, well, the runner slowed down, or the play is dead, or the play is stopped. Like, that to me doesn't seem like it'd be an option here. Like, what? Here's the bunt, the call on the field. Watch the home plate umpire. He thinks that the ball hits the batter, so he'll put his arms up. Dead ball. So right now it's dead, even though Erickson's got it, and she's going to be out by 4 steps. But because it's a dead ball at that point, I don't think that's one of the options there. But it's the common sense answer.
Yes.
In many ways.
Yes. It just feels strange to me to have that play called dead and then just award the batter first base. That's where I'm going in between when I'm looking at this rule book right now, trying to see what the umpires are going to come, what conclusion they're going to come to.
It's interesting just watching the dynamics here. Walton and his staff are in the dugout. Courtney Deifel and Matt Michael are waiting for the umpires here. They're kind of hovering about 10 yards or so away from the umpires, but like you can tell that they have like, what is the call going to be here, because it's going to set the team that doesn't get the call off right now, because Arkansas feels like they should have the bases loaded. And if this is not resolved to Florida's liking, the word protest was used, so how does that play into things as well?
Not like it's an extra innings ball game or anything, right?
By the way, we are in the 8th inning. I forgot. And a reminder, this game started at 4 o'clock Eastern time. They moved the start time up so as to end hopefully before it got too deep into a certain basketball game going on right now. Well, during this 10-minute plus timeout, I'm with you, my friend. It's taken a little while. They're trying to get it right. Feels to me that the umpires on the field have kind of looked at the book all they want, and they're waiting for Birmingham to maybe make a final ruling here, or at least to weigh in. I'm going to take it the next step, too. Do you, if you're Birmingham, are you reaching out to other people to say, what is the ruling in this situation?
Yeah, I think you're calling anybody.
Yeah.
You can.
No,
I mean,
the
review. We're going well up.
We're
past
6-6 in the 8th inning. You want to get it right.
Yeah.
But for the moment, it doesn't look like we're very close to a resolution.
I'm changing sections of the rule book that I'm going to jump to a different section now. I'm going to see if we can
what
find
Roman numeral are we
some clarification.
Okay. I appreciate all these fans sticking with us here. I guarantee you they are not looking up the NCAA softball rule book right now to see what the call is here. They're looking up what's happening in the basketball game, but don't blame them. Although he has the look on his face like we do, too, looking at the rule book. Like, what's the call? Yeah. So it was called out on the field, but then said it didn't hit the runner. So how could it be safe? Like, really squinting in.
So I switched gears here, and I'm to the video review section of the rule book.
Okay.
If the reversing of a call results in the need for decisions on the placement of base runners, the crew chief shall use their best judgment.
Okay.
And/or the appropriate rule to determine where to place the runners.
All right. So that to me feels like, okay, what's the common sense thing here? And it just feels like to me right now the common sense piece would be return Davison to the plate. She's going to bunt.
Yeah, she's going to bunt again.
I mean, Arkansas is just trying to get bases loaded, nobody out, instead of second and third with one out. All right, so now one of the umpires, Gil Zayas, is talking to a member of the ops staff for Florida. Will Krause has stepped onto the field here for Florida. So, again, this goes to what we kind of half joked about, but you pull in whatever resources you can right now, like handing over the rule book, checking in with Birmingham. Some people they've had enough with a 15-minute delay.
They're going to find answers too.
Yes. Do not knock on the press box door because Madison does not know. But I must say, what you just read, that to me feels like the solution here. That it can be the judgment of the crew chief as to what the best course of action should be. Should it be first and second, nobody out, and Davison at the plate? Just go back and.
I'm with you. I think you just bring her back to the plate. That feels.
I just want to make sure I'm not alone.
Yeah,
no.
I think you and I are on the same page on that. To me, that feels more natural, I guess you could say, than just placing the runner over at first base.
I would think some are heading for the exit. Some just need a bathroom break because we've been going on so long here with this review. Some need a game break, and it's a 4-point game. Gators trailing the Tigers at the moment in that other game that we're monitoring. So the rule book has been put away.
I'm still keeping mine out for the time being. We're going to keep it handy.
Yeah, the rule book's been put away by the umpires. Ava Brown's going to stay loose. Carly Davison bunted the first pitch to her. She's standing down at first base. We'll see if they return Davison. It feels like our field umpires are just waiting for the final decision on this to come from the review center in Birmingham. I think they've gone through everything they can with the rule book. And, again, we joke around, but the rule book's how many pages?
I'm currently at page 172.
172.
But yes, it goes further than that.
Oh, please say it doesn't. So Brown stays loose. We're in the middle of a long delay after a video review. The ruling on the field was that Carly Davison made contact with a bunt and was called out. But after challenge by Arkansas, call was changed, but the umpires awarded Davison first base. We've shown you the replays where Davison was clearly thrown out by Erickson, but the umpire had his arms up, dead ball, and Tim Walton then said, well, why are you placing this runner at first base when she was clearly out? So he protested that ruling by the umpires, and that's where we stand right now. The review center in Birmingham, they're going through the rule book, determining what should happen here. Madison Shipman has gone through the rule book that the umpires on the field had. She came up with, I think, is probably the best solution, that there is a crew chief discretion after a replay as to what you can do with a play.
As far as placing the runners, yes, after you go to video review. And it's just, I think it's going to come down to either the crew chief or Birmingham making the decision ultimately on what they want to do with this play. I think that's why we've been in this review for as long as we have, after going through the rule book as many pages as I could find.
It's Alumni Day. Some of the great alumni were here today, and even they said, I have not been around. We did not have replay back in my day. They're celebrating the 10th year anniversary of the 2015 National Championship here today. Well, I'd like to say I've seen it all covering softball and baseball. Add this one to the list.
Yeah. We've learned to expect the unexpected, but I don't think that we imagined this.
I don't recall ever having any sort of delay that's not lighting or weather related to this length ever. Obviously, it's a delay that's tied to a rule book interpretation. Now, Tim Walton's going to say, now we need to keep the outfielders sharp here. So I'm going to just say awesome job by the fans who are sticking it out here, knowing that we're in the 8th inning.
Well, see, now they've got to figure out what the ruling is, just like the rest of us. They want to hang in there, not just, of course, they want to see the end of the ball game.
I think
but you
they're
got to figure out what the call on the play
just like,
is.
I don't care what you call, just call something.
Something,
right now.
yes.
Folks, you are all a part of history, something that Madison Shipman has never seen in her long playing, coaching, or broadcasting career.
No, this is definitely a first.
This game started at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Jeremy Otter's our producer. Jeremy, where are we on the delay right now? 21-minute delay. Thank you. Great job by our crew here in Gainesville. Been a busy time here. Baseball playing today. Big track and field meet here in Gainesville. And little did we know, but a history-making review happening in Gainesville.
Now, I want to say that Florida was a part of a long, lengthy review in their midweek game against UCF not too long ago. Not quite this long. Maybe about 5 minutes or so with the lineup changes. Yes.
2 Wednesdays ago, right? Yeah.
But this one, the longest one that you and I have been a part of.
Oh,
by far.
By a factor of 10 going on 20 right now.
I was going to say, we're doubling and tripling by the minute.
Now Courtney Deifel heading over to the Florida dugout, just checking in on them. The fans getting a little restless now. The out at first chant giving way to some louder and louder. Is that the Florida quarterback? Is that DJ? He's at the game.
Maybe watching
DJ,
some basketball and some softball.
Yes, thank you for sticking out an extra inning game. Oh, hang on a second. We have our plate umpire, Tom Meyer, moving closer to the circle, which usually means we're getting close to an announcement. And this is certainly one where Tom is going to repeat it to Birmingham, and they have to make sure they're on the same page. Our review clock, 22 minutes and counting. 6-6 game here in the 8th. And Meyer, the plate umpire, is going to make the announcement. He's making sure they're all on the same page. Here we go.
After consultation with the NCAA office, the ruling on the field remains bases loaded, nobody out.
NCAA office was brought in for this call.
I understand.
Here comes.
But I also.
Tim Walton, he's like, I need an explanation. I deserve an explanation here.
Absolutely. There's a part of me that I get that the play was called dead on the field, so you put the runner over at first base, but I think you and I are on the same page where I feel like it would have felt better if the batter was brought back into the batter's box and you basically redo that pitch all over again once that play was called dead.
Maybe we'll get it tomorrow. I would love to know, I know they went to the NCAA office, and again, we talked about it. Get anybody who's a stakeholder, and Walton's been tossed.
upset, and I understand the frustration. That was one of the weirdest, if not the craziest play I've ever seen. And in a moment like this, tie ball game, top of the 8th inning. Yeah, the hat comes off. Not happy about it at all.
I can't